This defense is really good. They're going to make all the routine plays, and that's what Coach Bell, he really preaches, make all the routine plays. But up the middle with Franks, Wheeler, Hess, and Levins behind the plate, they're as strong as it gets in the conference.
Knapczyk will lead it off for the Cardinals here as we're ready to start game 2. Panthers winning 8-7 in the first one. And the first pitch is a swing and a miss. Knapczyk, part of that great, deep Louisville lineup. The ball inside went 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored in the opener. Logan Evans, ball.
Like just under there. It was close, though.
Yep.
It's close. Good take.
Thomas Newsom behind the plate, Ryan Clark at first. Will Prestwood at second, and Kevin Sweeney moves out to third base for game 2. And a ball in the dirt.
It's another thing, Coach Bell, I'm watching here, Evans down early, missed with the fastball, goes off speed down there. It's one thing Mike Bell talked about is with Logan Evans, although he does throw hard, he has to stay down in the zone.
Knapczyk hustled down the line, but just no opportunity on the easy out. Whaler over to Hewlett, and one down here in game 2.
Yep, and that was that executed breaking ball, right? It was down and in to the left-handed hitter in a 3-2 count. Well-executed pitch, not just relying on the action for the first out.
Ben Metzinger really made that 9th inning interesting. And a ground ball hard down the third baseline, 2 for 3 with that 3-run homer. His 11th of the season.
Yeah, Jeff, and you asked what was talked about in that Louisville huddle after the game or before this one. 2 batters in, 2 swings at the first pitch. I wonder if aggressiveness was one of those words that was used by Dan McDonald.
And now 0-2.
Hey, go to work now, Zane.
One out here, top of the first. Evans pitch. And line drive, it's going to fall into center field. First hit of the game to Ben Metzinger.
Yeah, hey, sometimes you just have to tip your cap if you're a pitcher. Good executed pitch on the outside corner, and Metzinger was just better, right? Got a good piece of the bat to it and flipped it into center field for the 1-out single.
Cameron Masterman. Defensively, offensively, did a little bit of everything in game 1. Ball outside. Finished 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. "51 degrees here in Pittsburgh for the start of game 2. Ball outside. The sun has hidden itself. We may not see it again this weekend. And a swing and a miss. Metzinger with 8 stolen bases over at first base. Dalton rushing on deck and throw over. And the 2-1. Strike 2 called. You see some of the looks, what they have done with Charles L. Coss Field with the logos, and it's just so sharp. The presentation of the field here, the 2-2 pitch outside.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. I ran into Dan McDonald, Louisville coach, before the first game of earlier this morning, and that's the first thing he said was, "Man, this place looks great. They've done a great job," and it's really true, especially with the move to the ACC. You know, the signage, it really looks sharp around here.
You saw the Panther head in center field with the striped turf. That's something that would be new to him. It had been 4 years since the teams had met. A lot had changed. You see logos in the bullpens. And runner goes, and ball is fouled away.
Yeah, and with conferences shifting and how schedules worked out, it might have even been a few years before that Louisville was actually in Pittsburgh playing. I know we played my senior year against Louisville. That was 2012. I think they came in and took 2 out of 3 from us. But that might have been the last time Louisville was here.
No score here in the top of the first. So you're almost right. It was almost your last time against them. They were here for a series in 2018 for 3 games. A Louisville sweep at the time. But the last win was back in 2012, May 18th. 3-2 pitch, fouled away.
I guess I'm not your trivia guy.
You might be an answer to another trivia question. We've got time. Runner on first is Metzinger. Masterman working Logan Evans here in the first. 17 pitches already, and just the 3rd batter. And the 3-2, and that's driven into right center field. Hess is on the move. So is Funk, the right fielder, and it drops in front of Funk. It's going to be a 2-base hit for the Cardinals, and now 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Yeah, no, that's going to be scored a double, but that's absolutely a communication error by Funk in right and Hess in center. You can see as they're converging, as they see the ball coming, they both look a little bit towards each other. I think either one of them could have probably made the play. But it looks like Hess thought that Funk was going to come in and make the play at the last second, and Funk thought the same thing. You see his head looking down there.
Seemed like it's one that Funk should have had, just given the angle of where it's at. But either way, it's now 2nd and 3rd, and Dalton Rushing is up. Rushing 0 for 4 in the first game.
A typical pop-up priority is the center fielder has the priority of the ball. What it was taught when I was out there was the center fielder was either going to say me or you, right? Not allowing that miscommunication error, because the right fielder hears you, he knows that it's his ball.
1-0 pitch is fouled away. Now Evans is going to have to work out of a jam. Panthers scored the first 6 runs of the opening game. Obviously never trailed in that game. It was a 6-run game heading into the 9th. 4 or 5 runs from the Cardinals. Now Louisville looking to kind of keep consecutive innings going. And that ball is inside now, 2-1, 2nd and 3rd. Metzinger, Masterman. So there's what Gilbertson did in game 1, and Evans from his last game. Gilbertson was really good in mixing his pitches. Strike called.
Yeah, really good pitch there, but Gilbertson in game 1 was great. He's everything that he needs to be, mixing pitches, being the ace of the staff, and setting his team up for success later on in the weekend. Evans was really good last week against Clemson. Now only 5 innings. That might be a problem with Baron Stewart throwing 2 innings earlier today. They might not have him here in game 2. So they might need him to go a little bit deeper than those 5 innings. But either way, really good with those 9 strikeouts.
Jack Payton, the designated hitter for game 2, is on deck. Payton was busy, especially in the first inning of game 1. And that pitch again jumped on and line foul. Three wild pitches in that first inning by Keener. Led to a couple of Panther runs. 2-2 the count after a couple of foul balls. Rushing looks in and swings and misses. Big strikeout for Evans.
It's a good job of really bearing down and not giving in, right? Sometimes when there's a lot of foul balls on the mound, you're saying, hey, all right, put it in play. You know, I'm going to throw maybe a pitch that's a little bit more hittable. Put it in play. I'm tired of all these foul balls, but throws that pitch just outside of the reach of Rushing for strike 3.
And now Peyton, second and third, and 2 outs. Ball low and outside, the sophomore. Peyton also catcher. Leads the team in multi-hit games, and that would explain why Peyton is hitting .396. Fifth batter of the inning. No runs in, but 2 aboard. Evans, ground ball up the middle. Franks dives, but it gets through. It's going to score a pair. A 2 RBI, 2 outs. Tail end of the first game into second base, but Franks, after initially hitting the turf, is okay after the swing and miss there by Whaler.
Yeah, I don't think Whaler picked up that breaking ball at all from Poland. It's a half-hearted swing and a miss.
And 3 pitches, and Whaler goes down.
Yeah, and you got to go back to it if you're Poland, right? Once you see Whaler not really pick up that breaking ball maybe as well as he had with the fastball or against some other pitchers, you got to go back to it and test it. It's exactly what he did for the punch-out.
You see that defense for Louisville. I think I had 5 plays starred that they made on defense. Of course, Masterman made a couple of them in left field. Levi Usher, a really good center fielder, and Napchik with a really nice play, robbing Whaler in the first inning of game 1 of a base hit.
Absolutely. Extremely athletic team that are going to make plays like that from time to time, and it was really on display.
Tatum Levens, 2 out, nobody on. Pitt catcher 0 for 4 in the first game, and there's rolls over on a ground ball to first. Throw over to Poland, and that's in the first game. And grounds that one to Franks. And quickly, there's 2 outs here, and Logan Evans, after giving up a 2-out, 2-run single.
Nancy Franks with a good job of getting around it and making the throw to first base. It's making the routine plays, right? You ask any coach in college baseball, they say make the routine plays and you got a shot.
Ball lined out of play. Isaac Humphrey, 1 for 3, scored a run in the opening game. And a swing and a miss, now 0-2, and Evans is fighting back here in the second inning. Again, just giving up that 2-out, 2-run single.
Yeah, getting the pitch count back in order, right?
0-2 pitch. Wanted strike 3 called ball 1.
Yep, really good miss though. Really good miss. If he executes that cutter slider down and in right there, he's gonna get swings and misses, undoubtedly.
And really nice piece of hitting there by Humphrey, just going with the pitch the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what you teach, right? With 2 outs, 2 strikes, 2 outs, you shorten up, you hit the ball where it's pitched. It's exactly what he does. The 2-out single, which seems to be one of the stories of this offensive day for Louisville, with another 2-out base hit.
It has been 4 times they did it in the first game, and then the RBI 2-out hit in the first inning. Now a 2-out single by Humphrey, now Ben Bianco. Humphrey with 6 stolen bases over at first. You see Bianco And see those numbers, 29 RBIs from the 9-hole hitter. There's a high pop-up. Hewlett will give it a look, but that's going to be out of play.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that many ribbies, that many stakes down in the 9-hole, it tells me that guys are on base, right? A lot of times you don't see that many RBIs in the 9-hole because, frankly, there's not that many opportunities. But he's getting the opportunities and he's cashing in on those. Just shows you the effectiveness of this lineup, 1 through 9.
2-0 lead for the Cardinals. 2 outs, runner on, and quickly back over is Humphrey. Bianco, the designated hitter, and fouls that one back. At any point in your career, were you a DH?
No, never.
Not college, but I mean, at any point, were you the?
No, I never can remember playing DH because when I was in high school, I would play the field. But I certainly can empathize with the difficulty of that position. You know, only thinking about your hitting the whole 3 hours or however long the game is lasting. But no, when I was swinging the bat and luckily they took that away from me when I came here to Pitt, I was not DHing.
And a ground ball foul. Played by Snyder over there at third. One and two the count, 2 outs here, top of the second. Ball outside. Evans is one of those rare players to switch from rival schools, to go from Penn State to Pitt. Ball into right field and out of play.
Another foul ball. Yeah, I would love to hear that recruiting story because it's not even like Evans is from Pennsylvania. He's not even a Pennsylvania guy, and goes to Penn State and then comes over to Pitt. I think he's checked all the boxes for major Pennsylvania programs here.
2-2 pitch, and that one's going to stay in play. That goes up the chute. Back is Frankson is Washington, and Washington puts it away. A high pop-up will end it here in the second. It's 2-0 Cardinals. And on cue, Mike Bell turning away from the camera when we come back from break. Panthers head coach. Man, the Pitt has been hot. Those are the 3 games entering today. You add in the 8 runs and finally beating Louisville in game 1. And really what Mike Bell has done, 4 series in the last, not even 2 years, like year and a third. Pitt has beaten a ranked team.
Yeah, he's done a really good job against these high-level programs, making Pitt very competitive. Last year taking down not only just winning games against ranked teams, but winning series against ranked teams, which, in baseball, it's extremely difficult to do. That's why you play a 3-game series. In a 1-game vacuum, the best team doesn't always win. Typically, it's the better pitcher. So he's done such a fantastic job of getting the right guys in, of finding the right transfers, the right high school guys, to really make this Pitt team as competitive as it gets in the ACC.
And a swing and a miss by Duff. Sky Duff kept that hitting or on-base streak going 2 for 3, a couple of runs scored. Duff now 45 straight games he's been on base. That ball outside, and he's a ball away from doing it again.
Sky Duff, 3-2 count? Never would have guessed that.
And that ball fouled away. Sky Duff might be a guy, like if you were to pick a line, like picking kickball teams, you may not pick him first, but then when you see him play for the other team, you're like,
Yeah. Oh,
I want that guy on my team.
He's certainly the type of guy that if you had 9 of them in your starting lineup, you're going to have a pretty good chance to win.
3-2 pitch, and 46 straight games Sky Duff has been on base.
Yeah, extremely impressive. Extremely impressive, and Pup is excited. We bark in the park. Might be looking the wrong way, though.
Come on. Hey, boy. Look over here. Just camera shy, apparently. But there is something interesting outside of the park that he wants to get a hold of right now. So a leadoff runner on for the Panthers. 2-0 lead for the Cardinals here in the second. Ron Washington Jr. will see a pitch after the throw over by Poland. Washington 0 for 2 in the first game.
And for you Louisville fans, no relation to the third base coach of the Atlanta Braves, Ron Washington. So I'm sure he's gotten that question
Once.
a million, maybe once or twice.
He has been a staple for Pitt during his entire career. Ball outside, 1-1.
Yeah, he's been really good. And talking with Mike Bell about Washington, it's not just his power, it's not just his leadership. What he's really impressed with is since Mike Bell's come on campus here at Pitt, Washington Jr. has really become a whole player. With his base running, his defense out in left field, more of that leadership that I talked about in the clubhouse. He couldn't say enough nice things about Ron Washington and the player that he's become.
Two and one the count. Duff at first. Here's a pitch and a ground ball foul. And you wonder what starting pitchers do after they're pitching. They run down foul balls. Gilbertson, there he is.
There's a team player.
There's probably a comment about his 40 time heading down there from the bullpen. Two and two, and a high fly ball. Usher is back, still going back at the wall, and will make the catch just in front of the fence for the first out here in the bottom of the second.
And Washington Jr. gives a scare to the Louisville faithful here in Pittsburgh, as that ball was just feet away from leaving the yard, and I think he felt he got a pretty good piece. Just a little high.
Even initially you could see the little bit of a grimace of like, ah. And there are some days, well, if you're a pitcher, there's probably feels like every day that the wind is blowing out here, and it just so happens that the wind is doing very little of anything right now. And now Bryce Hewlett.
Yeah, and that's to the deepest, one of the deepest parts of the park there. Probably 400 feet that ball went. Unfortunately, needed another 5.
And you see it. There's Old Glory. And that is a rare sight here at the Peterson Sports Complex. And the ball gets through and going down to second base and through to the wall. Yeah, there's some beautiful views from up here. And also, there are times where it's like there's a wind chill.
It's a thankless profession, right? And the officiating industry is hard, and it's great people that do it, and it really is thankless in every aspect. Because unfortunately, when they're doing their job, you don't notice them, right? And when you feel, or your team feels like you're not getting the right end of some of those calls, that's when they really show up. But this crew's done a great job so far today.
And then you do your job well, and then, okay, we're going to take a replay of it and slow it down to the very slightest detail and zoom in as tight as we can to see that you were off by a millimeter.
Or that you were right. I think that's the most impressive thing about a lot of this replay that we're seeing now is these umpires are really good at a lot of close plays. A lot of them stay as called.
He's telling this story during a Pitt basketball broadcast. And here comes the 2-2 pitch to Hewlett, and a swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Poland. But there was a coach in Western Pennsylvania who his middle school team, or his high school team, and high pitch Hewlett just couldn't grab.
I think he wants that pitch back.
Anderson now up, but he would force his team to referee middle school games. And everybody had to do it at least once, just so they could understand what it's like.
I like that.
I think it's great. I would suggest it for, high school teams to go umpire a Little League game.
Oh, yeah. Teams, parents, coaches.
Yes.
Everybody.
Especially some parents. 2 outs, ball low. Jack Anderson grew up in this area. Mars High School in the northern suburbs of Pittsburgh.
One of my favorite names, the Mars Fighting Planets. Love it.
And a swing and a miss evens the count.
Good breaking ball. Oh, he's had a great breaking ball so far today.
Mars Planets, one of the better programs, have produced a couple of first-round draft picks, or a last-year first-round draft pick. The Bednar family, one with the Pirates, and one a first-round pick, and strike called. And of course, Anderson would have been coached by the dad.
Yeah, great program. They have Mars has another player at West Virginia this year, J.J. Weatherall.
There you see the stats. Started at Northwestern and then down to Florida. And now you look at the stats for this season. How many players, especially coming to a league like the ACC, improve their stats from their junior college? And a swing and a miss. And there's a high fly ball this time to right field. Funk is under it. And we'll put it away. And really for Evans, when you think about him trailing 2-0, there's a ball that dropped between Funk and Hess. If that catch is made, you may not see any runs in that first inning. And Evans has really settled down here.
Yeah, it's miscues, right? That's been the story, I think, of the day overall. Louisville and miscues in game 1. So far, that miscue by Pitt in game 2, the difference of this game. The team that's playing the cleanest baseball has been winning or has won so far today. That's a great point.
2 outs here, Masterman up. And there's a high fly ball to left. There's no catch in that one. Masterman crushes a pitch to left field. It's 3-0 Louisville.
Cameron Masterman smashes that ball to left field. He takes that hung breaking ball, really mashes it over the fence.
I couldn't tell exactly, but I was looking for a ricochet, but I think that went over the scoreboard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing coming back. Just crushed it over his own head. And big day for Masterman here in Pittsburgh.
Homers in both ends of the doubleheader. Both balls hit really hard, not cheapies by any stretch of the imagination.
Check swing, no. 2-0 the count. And ball 3 to Rushing. Rushing struck out in the first. Behind the plate in game 2. So Masterman already halfway to the cycle. And ball inside, and 4 pitches after the home run. Rushing walks. Jack Payton drove in 2 of those runs, both of them in the first inning, with an RBI single. Stretch and the pitch, and there's a strike called.
Let's go, Ben! Stay hot, threes, let's go! Stay hot, baby, stay hot, baby!
And there's a shot into right field. Funk is on his horse, and that's going to drop in for extra bases. Funk grabs it in the corner. Runner heading home. Here's the throw, bounces 3 times, and safe at home. And off to third is Peyton. An RBI double to third on the throw, and it's a 4-0 lead for Louisville.
The Louisville bats continue to punish Pitt after the walk. Ball deep into the gap, scores the run, and Peyton here on third base with 2 outs. Takes a tough pitch. I mean, that's a good pitch down in the zone there.
And a good job by Funk here to set himself just a little high on the cutoff and first in the second inning. And shows bunt and bunts it right back to the pitcher. Evans throws over to first, and a collision at first base between Hewlett and Usher, and Hewlett is still down. Usher heads down to second base. Safe at first, and another run for the Cardinals on the bunt and error. And Louisville's up 5-0. And it looks like Hewlett's going to be okay. Same with Usher.
And a huge mistake there by Logan Evans. The bunt comes down. It's actually a safety squeeze. The runner at third, Peyton, was not sprinting towards home, but you see there, he never looks at the runner. If he looked at the runner, he would have easily had Peyton in between third and home for the out. Instead, Evans makes the throw to first base, and throw goes offline, and you see the collision there. And I'm not sure if he ever touched first base. I don't see Levi Usher ever touching first base there. Looks like they're going to appeal. I'm not sure. They might want to take a look at that one.
So Usher, and really, much like the slide of Sang in the first game, there's nothing Usher could do at that point. He's heading to first base. Hewlett's right there, and Hewlett got put into that position because of the throw. And Usher, you could even see at the last second, tried to kind of hold up, but it was like a linebacker hit. And now a pop fly that's going to drop, and another run for Louisville, and this is getting away from Pitt early. The Cardinals now up 6-0 in the third.
Yeah, it's just as much as game one. Everything was going Pitt's way. It seems at this point everything is going Louisville's way as they go up 6-0 on the RBI bloop single to right field. Whaler doing everything in his capacity to get to it, but that ball just, no one had a chance at that.
Now Isaac Humphrey, the 8th batter of the inning, and a line drive and another hit. Funk comes up with it. This time the runner holds at second base, Logan Beard. And Louisville's on fire here in game 2. Bianco now, then 2 on, 2 out. A swing and a miss. Panthers have a couple pitchers stretching with the stretch bands, but no throwing as of yet. Evans' pitch is rolled over. Duff. Throw over is in the dirt. Good pick by Hewlett. And that'll 6 runs to work with when he's barely given up 6 runs all year.
It's actually exactly 6 runs all year.
And a swing and a miss by Brock Franks. So for the Panthers, now it's just time to chip away, get a run here or there. You hope Evans settles down, you get some good bullpen work, and you kind of work your way back into this game. And the other thing you want to do, if you can, with Poland, and the Panthers are good at this, is work that pitch count.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right there, Jeff. I think you do everything you can to get Poland out of the game as early as you can, because the bullpen is just not going to be as good as Poland has been so far. I mean, he's been really, really good. Hasn't given up a hit yet. But you also focus on trying to cut the lead in half, right? You're down 6-0. If you can get 2 or 3 runs either here or next inning or a combination of the two, all of a sudden it's just a 3-run game going into the second half of the ball game. And we saw in Game 1 with Louisville putting up 5 runs in the ninth that at any time in college baseball with the metal bats, offenses can explode like that. And this Pitt team has just as much power to do that. 1 through 9 in their lineup, they've left the yard at a very impressive clip.
3-2 the count on Brock Franks, leadoff batter here in the third, and a swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts for Poland.
Yeah, really impressive. That's that mid-90s fastball right on the outside corner. Brock Franks, not much he can do with that.
C.J. Funk, who has been busy in right field in this game, gets his first opportunity to bat and looks at a strike. Funk 2 for 4, an RBI, a run scored in the first game. And the 0-1 pitch is strike 2. See Funk, you're trying to do anything to get him out of the rhythm, get Poland out of the rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. You're maybe calling timeout, coming out of the batter's box, doing anything you can to get him out of a rhythm. But unfortunately, at some point, he does have to deliver that pitch. And the pitches that he has been delivering have been so good.
And that one inside and clips Funk, and the Panthers have a base runner here in the third.
I'm sorry, the announcer jinxed there for Jared Boland. He hits Funk, and Pitt gets a base runner here in the third.
Now Kyle Hess. Hess batting .330 on the season. As you see Funk, who had a stolen base in the first game, over at first base. And a swing and a miss.
That was a changeup. Pretty exclusively fastball breaking ball for Poland. First time through the lineup, and first pitch against Hess pulls the string.
Yeah, it's just unfair if he's able to throw a changeup too. From Fishers, Indiana, in his senior season.
A little hitting early in his career. An impressive athlete. Now focusing on pitching, and rightfully so.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Had a streak earlier in the season of 18 straight scoreless innings. Now back when the draft was a bit longer, he was a 34th round pick by the White Sox. Getting to see what they saw in him.
Yeah, with a guy like Poland throwing the second game of series, I've always felt that Game 2 might be the most important game. Totally understand the first game Friday is the Friday night ace.
There's a shot by Hess to right field, and that's out of here. 2-run homer for Kyle Hess. The Panthers are on the board. It's 6. 0-1 pitch, and that is fouled away.
What I was saying about Poland, starting the second game of series, is I would probably make an argument that the second game of the series is the most important. Let's say you go out and you lose Game 1 like they did. Now you have Poland coming back in Game 2 to even out the series. Let's say they won Game 1. Now you have Poland coming out to win the series in Game 2. In college baseball, that second starter, I think, is probably one of the most important positions on the whole team.
Humphrey able to put that away for the second out. See excitement of Kyle Hess. Mentioned draft for Poland. I'm sure draft is in the future for Hess. Now Tatum Levens, one of the better catchers in all of Division I. And you see those numbers and the work he's also done behind the plate. And a workhorse, backup catchers dealing with an injury and catching both games of the doubleheader. Looks at strike one. That'll even it. Poland gave up the 2-run homer. First hit of the game, the only hit of the game for the Panthers. Until that. Not hits. Wow. Not giving up. And a ground ball up the middle, and that'll take care of that. Leadoff single.
Yeah, Pitt had a little bit of a light shift on with Whaler a little bit into right field and Brock's up the middle, but Knapczyk able to get it through.
It just what appeared to be getting it through the legs. Yeah, right through the wickets.
5-hole.
And now Metzinger. Ben Metzinger singled and scored. In the first game, a 3-run homer and a hard hit ball outside of third. Look at that play. You've been that bullpen guy before, right? Just looking for
You better believe it.
That was a leap over a one-handed play.
Oh, you better believe it. Trying to convince somebody I'm an athlete down there.
And a ground ball into left field. Another hit for Metzinger. And Washington bobbles it, but was able to keep it in front of him. And Knapczyk unable to advance.
Another hit here for Louisville. They stays back and gets a nice hard hit ball into left field as that Pitt bullpen really getting moving now. A little double barrel action down there. Just pulled up a little early, but it's the benefit of playing left field. You know, the play's right in front of you. Short throw.
He's able to kick it forward.
Yep.
So nobody advanced, but nobody out. 2 on, and Masterman up. Hit just a towering home run over the scoreboard his last time up. He scored twice.
Yeah, true light tower power for Masterman.
And a hard hit ball exactly where Metzinger hit it to Washington. Washington's going to throw to the cutoff, and the run is going to score, but they've got off second base. Metzinger is out, but the RBI single for Masterman, and Louisville's up 7-2.
Yeah, another great swing by Masterman, but the play here has to be Ron Washington Jr. hitting the cutoff man. If you're a youth baseball player out there, that is the perfect play to watch. The chances that Washington Jr. is able to throw out the runner at home is very small, but because he hits Sky Duff as the cutoff man, now they're able to get the out at second base and keep the runner out of scoring position with less than 2 outs. A very underrated play with it still being just a 5-run game.
And man, Louisville bringing the hit shoes here in the second game. Another base hit. And now first and third, and that saved a run to the point you made about Washington's play.
Yep, that keeps another run off the board.
4 straight hits. Hits in 6 of the last 7 at-bats for Louisville.
Yeah, but Louisville's really, really seeing the ball well at the plate. And here's that throw right to the head. You want to throw it to the head of the cutoff man so that they can make the decision. And that's exactly what he did.
Of the last 11 batters for Louisville, 10 have reached base. And a 7-2 lead. And now Jack Payton, who drove in a couple of runs, grounds it to third. This could be a double play. Duff over. Hewlett goes high and unable to get down in time to get the tag on Payton. So the run scores and the second out at second base.
And when things aren't going your way, right, you get the relatively routine double play. Ground ball to third base, and unfortunately it's broken up by a great slide by Rushing. So that play by Washington nearly keeps 2 runs off the board. Unfortunately, the throw at second base doesn't allow that to happen.
And now you're at the point where in game 1, Louisville was hoping their starter would give as many innings as possible. Pitt is the same way now with Evans, hoping that they can give as many innings as possible, not to spend that bullpen for Sunday afternoon. Levi Usher reached on an error and scored. You see what Louisville has done offensively, and when you think about the fact that 5 of those runs came in the 9th in the last 5 innings, it's 13 runs.
It's great math there, Jeff.
Thank you. I did it in my head really quick.
Hey,
and
impressive.
I was double checking myself as you were talking.
No, but that's with this Louisville offense. It was just a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time before they break out, and what they've done, like you said, in the last 5 innings, really impressive. But it's just been a lot of barrels. They've hit a lot of balls really hard, and Logan Evans, sometimes today's not your day.
And there's a fly ball deep to center field and out. Levi Usher, a 2-run home run. It is 10-2 Cardinals.
This Louisville offense is laying the hammer down. Man, I news many times, and the longer you play, the more often it happens. I think you have a couple of options. One, you burn the tape. You never think about it again, right? You get back to what you know is effective because he's proven he can be good in ACC play, right? Or you look back and realize, okay, hey, am I tipping pitches? Because if you're getting hit that hard, there's a chance that maybe they know a little bit, an educated guess about what's happening, right? So maybe a little flutter of the glove. Maybe you can look back at things like that. I think those are maybe 2 of the things that you have to do to get over a game like that.
Well, that's a tough spin by Beard, but Devereaux is able to put it away. 4 more runs for the Cardinals, and really capped by this Levi Usher, a bomb. 10-2 Louisville. Usher with the 2-run homer, 10-2 Cardinals. Panthers had a 2-run homer in the 3rd, and that only got Louisville upset. They kept their hot hitting going, and now Jared Poland with an 8-run lead works to Sky Duff.
Yeah, for Jared Poland, nothing changes, right? It's a 1-0 game. You still pitch every bit as you would have if the score was, 1-0, 3-2, anything like that. I think the one thing that you might alter is when you do get behind, maybe you give in a little bit more with a fastball. Because walks are the one thing, and giving bases away are the one thing that might get Pitt back into the game faster than just allowing them to hit.
So, they're humans. They're trying to get to the next level.
Yep.
Stats matter. Is there also the temptation that you're thinking about your stats in those situations and maybe not doing what you're saying because you're worried about, giving up a couple of runs and inflating your ERA?
Yeah, I think so. But when you're a senior out there, you've been doing this a while, I think that thinking about those things are before and after the game is one thing, but thinking about those types of things while you're on the mound will definitely detract from performance at some point. And he doesn't have to worry about that if he keeps getting ahead and executing pitches, right? Because especially with advanced sabermetrics now and all the different data that a lot of these major league teams get, they know from different key performance indicators if a pitcher is going to be successful at the next level or not. And stats are only usually to back up a lot of those key performance indicators, as I said.
Bianco, easy play at first, 1 out here in the 4th.
Yeah, so some of those KPIs or those key performance indicators might be a hitter's launch angle, a hitter's exit velocity, a pitcher's velocity, their spin rate, their true spin rate. So how much of that spin rate is actually affecting the pitch, as opposed to it being the pitch being inefficient as it comes in. They're able to quantify why pitches are good now, as opposed to just hitters hitting 190 against the fastball.
Ron Washington looking for his first hit of this series.
So to answer your question, maybe 10 years ago, the pitcher might have been considering the stats a little bit more. But now they know that a lot more goes into it than just your ERA, whip, and batting average against.
8-run lead for the Cardinals here in the 4th. 1 out. Washington down 0-2 in the count. You look at the numbers. And a swing and a miss. And the struggle continues for Washington against Louisville in this series on this day.
You see a little bit of a smirk there from Poland. I think it's because he knew that he hung it. I think he knew he hung that breaking ball and got away with it. Washington Jr. with the swing and miss. And, hey, sometimes when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Yeah, I think you made the point earlier. There's so many things working against Louisville, or they were doing to hurt themselves in Game 1. And Game 2, it has been the opposite. And a foul back by Hewlett. Hewlett thankfully okay. A collision with Usher in the 3rd inning. Just like a base or football collision. That ball fouled away quickly. It's 0-2. And to your point about Poland right now, he's just flooding the, not that he wouldn't anyhow, but he is flooding the strike zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Filling the zone up with all his pitches, getting ahead. Now he's able to bury and go for another strikeout, get his team back in the dugout to hit again.
And that one low. Hewlett lets it go. Hewlett struck out in the 2nd. 5 strikeouts already for Poland. And you look, 6 pitches in the 1st inning. He had to work a little bit more in the other 2, and only 12 here so far in the 4th. And that's outside.
Like a change up there. This is also another opportunity. You asked a little bit of what he might work on or if he's going to change anything. If there is a 3rd or 4th pitch that he's working on in bullpens or maybe not throwing as much, this is a good time to do that. In some situations where maybe you wouldn't have, just because the game necessarily isn't on the line right now.
3-2 now. 2 outs. Panthers down 8. Here at home. Pitt won the first game 8-7. And that's fouled away. It was Louisville's first conference loss. And the Panthers 4-5 entering into this game. In ACC play, 5-1 at home. The Cardinals have taken control of Game 2. Boland's pitch. And fouled at the plate. Hewlett at least hanging tough. Bryce Hewlett. 1 for 4 with an RBI in Game 1. 3-2 pitch, and that's popped up. Usher, right at the Panther eye, puts it away. One bad inning could make that ERA look a lot worse. But if you take, say, 4 or 5 of outings and think, oh, okay. But the ERA would make you immediately, whoa.
Yeah, as a reliever, especially.
Right.
I don't think you look at ERA is not a true indicative stat of success until maybe you're 40, 50 games into the season. It's always tough to see that that 10, that 12, that 7 ERA. But the reality is, when you've only pitched 3, 4 innings, a couple of runs or some bad luck totally skews those numbers.
Humphrey, the first batter for Konashevsky. And 2-2 is the count. Ball outside. Kind of reminds me of, for Pitt fans, a little bit of a left-handed Chase Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Pitt fans remember the side-winding right-hander.
And a ground ball up the middle. And I don't think it matters who Pitt puts in. Louisville is just hitting everything. That's a third hit for Humphrey here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, a great job of staying in there against the tough angle, left on left. Gets his barrel to it and delivers a single to center field.
Now Ben Bianco, the only Cardinal without a hit. The ball is low. Bianco did have a hit in the first game and drove in a run. Strike called. Panthers do have 2 righties throwing, so this might be a cavalcade of stars.
Yeah, we might get a little taste of everything that Pitt bullpen has to offer.
A runner going, and Humphrey stealing second base.
Going first movement, it looked like, against the left-handed pitcher. So that means as soon as that lefty moves, you're not looking to see if he's picking off or not. Yep, first movement. The only way to really beat that if you're a pitcher is to pick off. If you happen to get lucky and you're picking off at the same time, that's why it's taught like that. Stealing is taught like that against a left-handed pitcher.
7th steal of the year for Humphrey. Runner in scoring position for Bianco. And ball outside. Logan Evans went 3 2/3, then Brady Devereaux. And now Quinn in and gets the slow roller. Bianco does get the runner over, but first out of the 5th inning. Christian Knapczyk. Check swing. Doesn't go.
And this is probably something that Mike Bell is watching closely, right? Runner in scoring position, less than 2 outs, tough left-handed hitter. Really to see if Quinn can get this hitter out.
And he does.
As
Good
you see
job
there.
by Hewlett to look the runner back.
Because these situations are going to come up in the future, right? These situations are going to come up when the games are really close. And if Quinn can show that he can be reliable against these hitters with a runner in scoring position, he might carve out a nice little opportunity for himself as a freshman going forward.
And you're facing a lineup that is on fire. 1 through 9 is a tough out. So even though you did it, you're doing it against the bottom and now rotating up to the top. But this will be a challenge here with Metzinger. 2 for 3 in this game. 3-run homer in the 9th inning of game 1. And that ground ball to Franks. Gathers, rifle over to
Probably nearly every scenario Dan McDonald has, and I think that's part of it. He's a fiery guy, so I think we might have also caught that camera at a good time.
And run support has been there for Poland, of course, for most of the Louisville pitchers. But in his last 3 games, he's got 9, 13, 8, and 10 runs in support. And another 10 spot today.
Yeah, that'll do it. It reminds me, my sophomore year here at Pitt, we had one of the best offenses in the country. Joe Leonard, Kevin Smith, John Schultz, just huge Pitt names. And I won 12 games. And everybody would ask me, hey, how'd you win 12 games? Well, shoot, it's easy to win 12 games when
I win 5 innings.
when you're getting 7, 8, 9 runs
Right.
of run support every single year. If I don't win that many, shame on me.
Give me to the 5th. Give me to the 5th. And that one's fouled. Or would have been an opportunity for Franks to get on base. One and two, 1 out here in the 5th. Panthers down 8 and a called strike 3. Second strikeout for Franks.
Really good backdoor breaking ball there by Poland. I tell you what, he's been outside of that home run, just really, really sharp. Brings that thing back for the called strike 3.
So in that first game, C.J. Funk with the double into the gap.
Absolutely.
Konashevsky with a good inning in the last half, and now a home run here by C.J. Funk.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Funk's a few really good at-bats today. That's certainly one of them. And if he can get going, this Pitt offense, it'll really be something special.
Yeah, if you can turn it over in the 9-hole.
Right. I'm not sure
Kyle
if there's
Hess.
many 9-hole hitters in the country that can do that.
Homered in his last at-bat, and now down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's 1 for 2, 2 for 4 in the first game. See that average at 337. And the swing and just getting a piece of it is Hess. Hess led the team in RBIs and triples, hit 5 homers last year. You saw the numbers for this season. 1-2 pitch. Now 2-2. The Panthers keep that home run train going. That has been a staple of their offense this year. 2-2 pitch is ground ball. Good backhand by Bianco, and the throw over to Poland ends the inning. But the Panthers get a run on a C.J. Funk home run. We head to the 6th, 10-3 Louisville. Cameron Masterman has continued in this game. The double there, a bit of a break. The RBI single, and this moonshot by Masterman. 3 runs scored, 2 driven in, and he is a triple from the cycle, and he is heading to be the first batter for the new pitcher.
Yeah, Masterman, a triple away from the cycle. He's seeing the ball really well. Really leader of this team, right? He is the one that has driven this train of offensive success so far for Louisville.
Tyler Kennedy into the game for the Panthers to start the 6th inning, as the Panthers able to use a number of different players. The freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. You see the numbers on the season.
A lot of potential. You look at Tyler Kennedy, prize recruit coming in for Pitt, out of state, South Carolina guy, throws really hard. Something to look at, though, is those walks. When he's in the zone, he could be really, really good. When he's out of the zone, that's when he gets in trouble. You're going to see a low to mid-90s fastball with power breaking ball from the right-hander.
And what a great opportunity facing 3, 4, 5 against Louisville. And you got Masterman rushing Payton. Ball outside.
Yeah, and opportunities like this are huge for pitchers like Tyler Kennedy, where you're really getting the hang of the speed of the game, right? That's the big thing going from high school to college baseball, especially ACC college baseball, is the speed of the game really picks up. And when you're pitching and the game feels fast, that's when mistakes tend to compound because you're not slowing down. You can't make the adjustments. So getting in opportunities like this are huge for a pitcher that Pitt's going to count on, if not this year, definitely next year and the year after.
So even though it is a 10-3 game, there's still a lot to be gained from this game, potentially.
Yeah, I think so.
Or lost.
Yeah, I think you have to look at it like that. I think if there's a lot of innings, frankly, to be had in this Pitt bullpen. Check swing. I don't think he went there. There's a lot of innings to be had. Right now, Barron Smith has a good grasp of the high leverage role, maybe the last inning of the game, last 2-3 innings of the game. Outside of that Pitt bullpen is kind of up for grabs. And if you can come in, kind of like how Quinn did last inning, pitch well, and earn the next opportunity, that can really learn to a big role now.
And that's kind of the maturation for the freshman. You start in those middle relief most times, unless you're just a flat-out superstar or find yourself in a situation where there is a major need because of injury or whatever. You're normally going to start in these roles and build your way to where you want to be.
Well, just look at the pitchers we've seen, the starters we've seen from Louisville so far. Keener started that way in his career. Poland started that way in his career. Some starts here or there, but mostly bullpen outings because there were guys ahead of them. There were guys that were ready to start right now. And since they hung around and got better, their turn came to be the Friday and Saturday guys for a top 11 team in the country.
Dalton rushing with a runner at first, nobody out, and that ball gets away, and down to second base is Masterman.
Yeah, and the only way to slow the game down and get yourself ready to be that Friday, Saturday, Sunday starter in conference play is to get the reps now. You can pitch and practice all you want, but I guarantee the intensity that Kennedy's feeling now is nothing like what he felt in inter-squad games or even in midweek contests so far this year.
Stretch by Kennedy. And that one's fouled back. Rushing struck out in the first, walked and scored in the third, and singled in the fourth. One-two pitch, and a swing and a miss. Job by Kennedy.
Well, that's a nice tight breaking ball. Down and into the left-handed hitter. It's a great pitch there by the right-hander.
Oof. How do you hit that? And that's why the Panthers are excited about Tyler Kennedy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know it's a pretty good pitch when it gets a swing and miss and the ball's not in the dirt and is pretty close to the zone. I've always said that. That's how you know a pitcher's stuff is good, when you get swings and misses on pitches either in the zone or just outside of the zone.
Now Jack Payton to face Kennedy. It's fouled back. Payton a mere 4 RBIs in this game. And it's probably the payback for all the work he had to do in game one behind the plate. Yeah, he's probably cool with just sitting on the bench and coming up to hit every other inning. And it's a high fly ball. Funk is going to drift back and now set. The tag, And going down to third base is Masterman. Levi Usher up next. Usher part of the home run fun today for Louisville. See the 253 on the season. Told you about the stolen bases, and he looks at a ball. Kennedy trying to work out of a opening batter walk. Masterman stands at third base, 2 outs. And Usher looks at a strike. Levi Usher from Kirkwood Community College via Iowa. He was also drafted out of high school and decided to go the college route. And strike called. Community college, he had 409 with 36 stolen bases at Kirkwood. 1-2 pitch from Kennedy, check swing high. Kennedy trying to get out of the inning. A ground ball, high chopper, tough play, but Hewlett plays it perfectly and 1 for 4 in the first game. That ball fouled away, 1-2.
Yeah, another one of those breaking balls. And coming in, Dan McDonald said, you know, hey, Poland's fastball, it's going to be a little straighter than some of our other guys, so he can't be susceptible, you know, to the long ball because of that. But you know, he's going to be in the zone. He's going to throw quality pitches, and that's exactly really what we've seen today.
Whaler got everything he could out of high school in St. Mary's, PA. He had letters in baseball, obviously, basketball, golf, and football.
Athlete.
Which I don't know how he was able to work all that in. Maybe the golf, you know, go to football practice, then, you know, throw 9 in.
I love it. I love it. That multi-sport athleticism. It has to have helped him in college baseball.
What's interesting about that play there is in the first inning of game 1, Knapchick made that play and robbed Whaler of a hit. This time Whaler was able to get it by him for a leadoff single here in the 6th.
It all evens out, right? Game of baseball, it all evens out. Might hit a line drive right at somebody and then hit a little blooper the next inning.
Did a story once of a guy who played football at Pine Richland, but he also was a classical dancer. And when you have to leave practice early to go to dance class, which he said was a tough negotiation at times. And he said he had to be extra tough, he felt, on the football field.
Yeah.
But he loved dancing. But he also loved hitting people.
Bet he had great footwork.
Absolutely.
Wonder what position. What position did he play?
He was a safety.
There you go.
So, you know, use that footwork to cover the field.
Yep. Oh, it's transferable skills all over the place.
That's
you know,
right.
Talking about, you know, Whaler playing football and basketball and golf. There's absolutely, you know, golf, you know, you're a rotational athlete every bit as much as you are a hitter.
Throw back down and safe is Whaler. Tatum Levens. Now there's another guy who did a lot in high school. He was an all-state swimmer. And you're a catcher. The muscles that you use in swimming, it has to have been beneficial for him. What a great, you know, quote-unquote off-season workout and
right.
Spending your winter in the pool.
Yeah, it's a great skill to have, and it's good for your competitiveness too, right? You know, sure, you're going to be in your own lane as much as you can, right? You can only be as good, let's say, at the butterfly as you can be, but you're still competing against the people left and right of you. Very similar to hitting, where you can only make your swing as great as you can make it, but you're still competing against that pitcher. So I'm sure there's transferable skills, whether he knows it or not, that have really excelled his baseball career now.
Plus just the shape you get in.
Oh yeah, that's added benefit.
And a ground ball and misplayed by Bianco. The throw to first is in time. This Pitt was up 6 in the 9th inning and won by 1 run. Panthers also are very good offensively. They could scratch a few runs here.
Yeah, I think you have to keep it close. You have no choice. You're going to play all 9 innings anyway. You got to keep it close and get yourself in striking distance. If that means scoring another 2 or 3 runs, this inning, next inning, giving yourself a puncher's chance in the 8th and 9th. Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if Louisville might bring out a reliever who simply just doesn't have it today and gives you an opportunity or some fortunate plays from them defensively.
And even if you could just force Louisville to have to use its closer.
Right.
There's an inning that they don't want to use. You're up 7 runs. You don't want to be in that situation. And it was a single, by the way, or ruled a single by the official scorer here. So Levens gets a hit, his first of this day. And that's inside, 2-1, the count on Sky Duff. You see Louisville, look at the damage they have done here in the second game and the comparisons. And really, if you would have looked at that game 1 for Louisville, it was much less until the 9th inning. And if you were to add that 9th inning to what's happened here, good work, line drive, and diving back to their respective bases are Whaler and Levens. Hit them where they ain't, right?
Yep. You tip your cap, right? All you can do is hit the ball hard. If it happens to go right at somebody, what are you going to do? And if that gets through, maybe another run for Pitt. We're singing a different tune, but still 2 guys on for Washington Jr.
Duff did exactly what he should, just kind of flip that into left field. How many great hitters do you see from the left side that made a living off hits like that? I could think of one from San Diego. I could think of one from Boston.
I was going to say that Tony Gwynn, first name that comes to mind.
Yep. Wade Boggs is another one.
Absolutely.
Now, for Ron Washington, I think, even, again, we're talking about down the road, it's been a tough day for Washington. An RBI hit here might get him going. There's a high pop-up, and that is going to stay in play. Bianco able to put that away, and now 2 outs, and the frustration for Washington continues today. Bryce Hewlett with 2 on, 2 out. Did you have any type of play sheet, cheat sheet in your pocket on?
No, that's a relatively new development in baseball. I think it kind of started with outfielders and infielders for defensive positioning with certain hitters. And now with as we talked about it earlier, not as many mound visits when they're changing the signal when the runner on in second base, when they're changing their signs that they're putting down in terms of the catcher to the pitcher. Now you don't have to have a meeting. You can just say, hey, we're going to do combination number 2 or combination number 3. So it's a little bit of all that. And again, not changing the integrity of the game. I think that it speeds up the game, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But no, we never had any sort of play sheet on the defensive side. Offensively, with signs, that's always been in play.
Good block by Rushing. 1-1 pitch is grounded to the second baseman. A throw over, and Logan Beard assists on the final out. No runs here for the Panthers in the sixth. We head to the seventh, 10-3. And I want you to hear the sound of Louisville in this second game. The Cardinals bringing, we'll call it the wood, even though it's the it's the metal, and the football helmet celebration for the Cardinals. 14 hits in game 2. Leading to 10 runs as we start the seventh inning. Logan Beard, who made the assist on the final out of the sixth, will lead off the seventh. Then Humphrey and Bianco. And Tyler Kennedy remains in the game, and a called strike. All the runs to the starter, Logan Evans. The relievers for the Panthers have done a nice job.
Yeah, they've been really good. They've been really good in this opportunity in the ACC to face a really good lineup. The two guys so far out of the, three guys with Brady Devereaux have been really, really good.
And there's the ball just kind of lofted into right field, and Funk's got a hustle, but staying at first base is Logan Beard. I'm kind of surprised. I thought with the way Louisville plays that for sure he was going to turn that corner. But
yeah, I think if that's a little bit further down the line, you might see an opportunity there. But yeah, it's the total right instinct when you're playing a team like Louisville.
Isaac Humphrey, single, single, single. 15 hits for the Cardinals. And Louisville's put up some numbers this year. In consecutive games against Akron, they had 20 and then 22 runs. They put 9 on 15th ranked TCU. Put 16 on #1 Notre Dame. Put 15 on Boston College. And the midweek game this past week put 16 on Western Kentucky.
Missed a couple extra points in there.
And their kicker's been struggling, but other than that, they've been doing really well.
Yeah, this is one of the premier offenses in the country. There isn't a doubt about that. And there's a reason why they're ranked 11th in the country is because so far their starting pitching and bullpen have been just as good.
Swing and a miss, high heat. That Humphrey went chasing, 2-2.
But we're seeing a little bit of that offense today and what they're capable of. If they're able to continue it, I mean, look out into the postseason, regional, supers, even into Omaha. This offense is going to be as good as anybody in the country.
Ball in the dirt. Yeah, and especially when you look at short series. This Louisville team really sets up nicely. I mean, they've got power. They can get on base. They can steal. They play defense. We've seen a lot of that.
Yep.
They've got a really good closer. And maybe you can minimize some of your middle relief questions when you get into those type of series. The only Cardinal without a hit. And ball high and away. Bianco looks in. Kennedy working into his second inning. And ball high. And just give him a little motivator, like, hey, go after these guys. Two-one pitch. And that is grounded too short. Franks. And a double play as the turn by Whaler. And now from first and second and nobody out to third base and 2 outs.
That's clearly the right message, right? Chalk that up. Great mound visit. Pushing the right buttons, motivating it the right way. Sometimes, if you are right, and that really kind of what was said, sometimes, a little bit of, what do we call it with Louisville, a little bit of edge is okay. A little bit of anger while you're out there, or, that can really help.
Ball is low.
Or just a reminder that, hey, you're just as good. Sometimes that's what the coach comes out to just to remind you. Hey, listen, this team is good. They can swing it, but guess what? You're here for a reason too.
2 outs. Runner at third, high and inside. Logan Beard at third. Knapchick the batter. The dangerous Metzinger probably can't wait to get another at bat today. Two and one the count. And that one's fouled back to even it up. So Kennedy walked his first batter, worked out of that as Masterman had gotten to third base. A single and a walk to start the seventh, a double play, and now a 2-2 pitch is inside, ball 3.
Great take there. Great take. There's nothing he could really have done with that. I mean, it definitely couldn't have kept it fair if he swung. Really good take.
3-2 pitch, low, ball 4. And now Metzinger. Metzinger from Louisville, part of the all-tourney team last year. Hit 3 home runs in the ACC tournament. And he has continued that into this season. Ball in the dirt, good block by Levens. One-0 pitch, fouled away. Metzinger, 355 average. See the on base, the slugging is 729. 1-1 pitch is way outside, and a delayed
Got him.
run to home, and Hawks against Brock Franks. Anderson on first, a 7-run lead. Ten runs, 15 hits for Louisville, 3, 5, and 2 errors for the Panthers. You see Franks. Ball outside. Went 0 for 2 in the first game. Struck out twice here in this one. Also got taken out at the end of the first game. Not taken out of the game, but taken out on a slide at second base, remained in the game. 2-1 pitch is outside. Bottom of the 7th, 7-run lead and a swing and a miss. Louisville had 7 runs in the first game, but lost 8-7 to Pitt. 10 runs, obviously, in this one. Stretch and the 3-2. Swing and a miss, and a third strikeout for Franks.
Franks leaves the zone there on that fastball, but Hawks, really nice fastball for strike 3.
C.J. Funk buried one his last time up.
Absolutely, and for Pitt, maybe game 2, not the game that they'd like, but C.J. Funk leaving the yard, it's got to feel good for him, just his second in the season.
Anderson still at first base, and Funk looks at a strike.
Hey, Jeff, what do you got on the black on black uniforms, Louisville? You like the look? Are you more of a traditional?
No, I'm cool with alternate jerseys. Almost all of them.
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions.
I think it looks great.
They had the uniform that looked like the old school Houston Astros, but they were red with the multiple stripes across. I thought
remember
those
that. That was a good look.
Those were cool, yeah.
That was a good look. I like
I like the camo uniforms that every team seems to have. And a ground ball into the hole. Nice play by Beard and on to first base. And Funk has retired, 2 outs here in the 7th.
Yeah, really nice play. Now, that ball wasn't hit all that hard, but Beard in double play depth, closer up the middle, gets the ball, a little bit of a pirouette, gets the out at first base. Nice play, keeping the ball in the infield.
So now 2 outs for Kyle Hess. And there hasn't been a combination of Pitt uniform that I haven't liked in these colors.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know if the blue they have on top with blue pants would be the best, but you know what? I'm willing to try.
At some point, I think we will see that. And you know what's going to happen some days? There's going to be a throwback day. And, Matt, you're going to see the block Pitt. Probably not for a long, long time. Yeah. And you're going to think, wow.
There'll be somebody somewhere that wants to switch back.
Only for a game. Because this, I think that's the beauty of this whole change for the Panthers. When you look at this royal blue, you think Pitt.
Yep.
In the darker blue, there are a number of other teams that it could be. This blue. There aren't any other really recognizable teams that come to mind that have this color scheme.
No, and I do think it's a good point that you make. 'Cause it's a lot of fun, right? I'm not saying, that Pitt is, let's say, Carolina blue or Clemson orange or Florida State maroon, but
yeah,
at the very least that brand recognition's there and it looks cool. And Louisville's also done a great job with their colors and branding and uniforms. They always have.
And a swing at Ben Metzinger, Cameron Masterman, and Dalton Rushing. Strike called. And a hard ground ball. Hewlett does a nice job of keeping it in front of him. And as his chest continues to get pounded today, and out for the Panthers.
Collecting bruises, I guess, right?
That's right.
That's a great start for Batista, right? It's a good way to get the first guy out, get the ball rolling on a good outing, and hopefully continue that through the middle of this Louisville Cardinal lineup.
Masterman doubled, homered, singled, walked. You're limiting the ways he could get on base without hitting for the cycle. At least the new ways. And fouls that back. How much do you think he knows he's a triple away from the cycle?
He probably knows. He probably knows. If not, somebody's telling him about it in the dugout.
That's one where if there's any type of gap shot, he's probably not holding.
Yeah, especially up 7, 8th inning. he gets an opportunity. Now here at Charles L. Cost, there are a couple opportunities for triples. We've seen a few. Right center is certainly a triple opportunity. Left center with the right hop off the big wall. Another opportunity for a triple. They're very expansive in that right center gap. That's where most of the triples you see here, that's where they go.
Yeah, you could hook one down the line that could get a funky bounce off the bullpen wall.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's a fun thing about baseball, too, that it's not talked about enough, is you have complete control over kind of the dimensions of the field. Obviously, in basketball, you can't change, how far the foul line is or how high the hoop is. And in baseball, you can't change, the baselines and the mound to home plate. But, by being able to alter and change kind of the foul territory and the walls, you can really create some culture of what type of team that you want. I think that's fun. I think it's a fun thing.
I agree. And it is something that's unique. While, football stadiums could have different type of looks, you can't mess with the dimensions of any other sport that I could think of off the top of my head, like baseball or softball.
Right. I think about our softball team here, and our fences are a little bit shorter than some other places.
Just a little.
Right.
And there's a shot into the gap. And over the wall. Dalton Rushing with a 2-run homer. And a 12 spot for the Cardinals as Rushing goes opposite field.
Yeah, sneaky pop there. We're in the middle of a conversation. He hits the ball. I thought for sure that'd be a double in the gap, but kept traveling, and Rushing leaves the yard, 8th on the year. Impressive power.
And that one heads over by the light pole. Yeah, I was caught a little off guard too. I didn't think that was carrying as well as it did. Ball outside.
Yeah, a lot of strength, a lot of bat speed leads to pitches like that you're able to take out that maybe some other hitters wouldn't be able to.
Ball fouled out of play. So after the talk with Mike Bell, 2 straight strikes. Levi Usher on deck. Peyton was 1 for 4 in the first game and grounds that outside of third. 12-3 Louisville here in the 8th. And a ground ball up the middle, knocked down by the pitcher, and Bautista throws over to first for the second out.
Yeah, chalk up another mound visit, right? Mike Bell, 2 mound visits in 2 innings, and the next hitter gets out both times.
So you're saying what you want more mound visits?
I'm saying he's saying the right things. It's like he's got an idea of what's going on out there.
Roger. Copy that.
Yeah, and that was such a big benefit when Pitt brought on Mike Bell a few years back. He was one of the best pitching coaches in the country at Florida State. Not just his recruiting, but his coaching, and several All-Americans, truly top 3, top 5 pitching coach in the country. And he comes in now where his program, it's going to be centered on pitching.
And if Bautista hasn't really settled down after that conversation, Levi Usher homered earlier in the game. Also reached on an error and scored. The error that we showed you, that was Usher that ran over Hewlett. One and 2 the count. 2 outs here in the 8th. 2 runs in. 2 in the first, 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and now 2 in the 8th. That ball in the dirt. Panthers scoring 2 in the third and 1 in the 5th. All those runs courtesy of home runs. And a ground ball is going to be a tough play for Franks. Franks fires over and not in time.
Great play, Brock Franks. Ball taking him.
12-3 Louisville, and the Panthers do have a runner at second, nobody out, and Tatum Levens up for the Panthers. Ball outside. Ryan Hawks, the junior, facing the transfer senior Levens, who had a base hit in the 6th. And there's a fly ball into center field. Usher has to move just a couple of baby steps to his right. 1 out. I'll bring up Sky Duff. Sky Duff with 2 more games where he got on base at least once. That's 46 games in a row. New Jersey native. Was 3rd team All ACC last year. That's inside. His sophomore year, he played the 16 games that Pitt played and was on base for every game of that season. Even his on-base percentage his freshman year was .397. And that's a ground out to third. Runner goes, or to second, runner goes over to third. 2 outs. And Ron Washington. It's been a long day for Ron Washington Jr. Average now down to 261. He started the day, to give you an idea, at 281. Ball by Hawks.
Yeah, with a guy like Washington, though, it only takes one. Right, it only takes one at bat, only to hit the ball. Let's say a nice country mile, and back in the swing of things.
And I mentioned the feeling for Pitt. Nice block by Rushing. Likely to lose game 2 of the doubleheader, but you do go into Sunday saying we got a chance to win a series against a ranked team.
Oh yeah, you have to. You can't expect, I think, to sweep everybody, right? Especially, when a number 11 team comes in. Yeah, not in this conference, even if you're at home.
And a ground ball up the middle, and Ron Washington gets his first hit of this Saturday and an RBI to boot.
Yeah, it's got to feel good for him, right? Having a little bit of a tougher day, comes up for a scoring position, maybe his last at-bat of the day, is able to go home tonight feeling pretty good with an RBI single. But back to the point of, by no means can you expect to sweep really anybody in this conference at home. Just winning 2 out of 3 is certainly the best that maybe you can hope for. And going into Sunday with a shot at winning a series against, again, another top 25 team, in this case, the number 11 team in the country.
Arguably the best team in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be happy with that. And you have a lot of your bullpen still at your disposal. Nobody really has been burned for tomorrow. Baron Stewart will be able to come back. Everybody who's come out of the bullpen so far today will be able to come back. And then obviously the guys that haven't thrown will still be available. And you have Billy Corcoran, your former Friday guy from a couple years back.
And that high fly ball by Hewlett, put away by Masterman. The Panthers do get a run here in the 8th. We head to the 9th, 12-4 Cardinals. Louisville leads at 12-4 as we enter the final inning of the day. Cardinal fans happy, at least with the second outcome. Panthers won the first game 8-7. And a new pitcher for the Panthers, Will Droll from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Many a hockey player has come from that area, and Will trying to make a name for himself as a left-handed pitcher with the Panthers.
Thunder Bay, Canada. I do have experience up there. The
Really?
Northwoods Summer League. It's a college summer league. I played in St. Cloud, Minnesota. The team has changed names a few times, but Thunder Bay had a team. We'd go up there and play.
Sure, it's a beautiful country.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Not a short drive.
Johnny Long in to catch the last inning. It's good to see him back. I know he's been bothered by some injuries, by an injury. And the ball is high and away.
Yeah, we're looking at the first collegiate appearance here for Will Droll on the mound. Welcome to college baseball, huh? Here's the number 11 team in the country.
And behind 3-0, and now walks the pinch hitter Chris Sang. Sang's second appearance. I'm sure Brock Franks is looking over it. Yeah, I remember this dude. Took him out at second base. And first strike. Austin owed a Johnny Bench winner in high school in Indiana. Just a freshman. So opportunities here, not just for the Panthers, but for the Cardinals now as well. Austin Bodie getting his opportunity in this series with an 8-run lead for Louisville and just 3 outs to grab. Behind in the count, 1-2, and that hits him. You can imagine the nerves for Droll. What do you remember about your first opportunity to pitch in college?
Yeah, good question. Frankly, not a whole lot. We were down in Tennessee, I think it was an Armed Service Classic, something along those lines, and I came out of the bullpen against Air Force, and I don't think our starter had a tough start. Not sure if they were expecting me, hey, just get out of this inning, or frankly, we don't know what we have. Let's just throw me out there. But I think I ended up going 5 or 6 innings out of the bullpen, and
wow, it
being a very, very memorable game at the time. But I'll tell you what, it felt like it was 30 seconds and I was done. The game was just going so fast for me, and luckily I was getting outs, and from then I moved into a starting role pretty much on the midweek games at the time, but it was just a lot of fun. The only thing I do remember is when it was over, almost picking my head up like I was in water, picking up and saying, "Oh, all right, I can still breathe."
0-2 on Brandon Anderson, who's getting an opportunity, and called strike 3. And the first out in the collegiate career of Will Droll is a strikeout.
Yeah, really good breaking ball there. Starts right at him, breaks over the outer half, gets the called third strike, and
Anderson's one of those guys. He's waiting behind Napchik, one of the best young shortstop prospects in the country. And that is popped up by Noah Smith for a second out.
Yeah, but you bring up a great point, right? So these guys that we're seeing for Louisville now, a lot of them are pinch hitting and sitting right now behind some of the best players in the country because they're playing at Louisville. You talk about Napchik and other players like that, and when they get their opportunity, they will be ready. But for right now, they are sitting back and learning, and the culture at Louisville has been to sit back and learn, not to, hey, you're not starting now, let's go find a new place where I can start. And it's really admirable is where I'm going with that. It's really admirable, and it's a testament to the coaching staff, a testament to the players and the players' families to buy into that process.
So after a walk to Sang and hitting Bodie, a good bounce back by Droll and getting a called third strike and a pop out. But now behind 2-0 to Metzinger, who is the only original batter to bat in this inning. And looks at ball 3. And Masterman is on deck. Two outs here in the 9th. 12-4 Cardinals. And strike call. I think Thunder Bay is the home of the Stahl brothers, the hockey trio. Imagine having 3 boys all play in the NHL and all are good in the NHL and win Stanley Cups and like crazy.
I want to see the grocery bill.
They had a sod farm, so I guess you had your own employee. Pitt will get one more at bat. And we'll have a game scheduled for 1 o'clock tomorrow. I feel like anytime this time of year in the North, you have to say the scheduled for. So stay loose, stay on social media. Check out Pitt and Louisville websites in case there are any changes. But as of now, 1 o'clock game.
And it'll be a good one, too. Scheduled starters, Billy Corcoran, Riley Phillips, a couple of guys with really good stuff. As I said, I mentioned a couple innings ago, Billy Corcoran was the #1 pitcher for this Pitt team in that COVID-shortened year a couple of years ago. Coming back from a couple of injuries, real good 3-pitch mix, great changeup, tall right-handed pitcher. He's going to keep this Louisville offense off balanced, and he's going to compete, and he's going to give Pitt a chance to win. And on the Louisville side, Phillips, the left-hander, he's going to be upper 80s, low 90s, a lot of action on his pitches. He's going to be tough for Pitt to square up. So it'll be a lot of fun watching that matchup tomorrow.
Well, you can see that right there. Rushing uses every inch and maybe illegally more at the back of that batter's box. Ball outside. 2-2. There it is.
Big toe.
And there's no dust really to brush away. Normally you could kick that away and make your own rules, but here, and that ball bounces. And ball 4. So a bases loaded walk.
Another one of those conversations that Mike Bell had with Kennedy and Batista. It looks like he's actually going to get him this time, but still a good learning opportunity.
A new pitcher coming in. 10-run lead for the Cardinals. Last year's MEAC Pitcher of the Year, second-team All-American Ryan Miller has transferred to the University of Pittsburgh, and the North Carolina Central right-hander gets another opportunity here with the Panthers, looking to get that final out with the bases loaded here in the 9th. Drake Westcott getting an opportunity. Got one in the first game. In fact, was the last out in the first game.
Yeah, Miller's an interesting piece for Pitt. I'm not sure, you said former MEAC Pitcher of the Year, upper 80s, low 90s fastball, a lot of pitchability, a lot of experience. Could be a guy.
Check swing.
That if he's able to put a couple of good outings together can really help Pitt in those middle innings, in those late innings, and potentially start some games down the line. Intriguing player for Pitt.
Bases loaded swing by Westcott. They say pitchers develop that power from the lower half. And there's the power of the high fastball right there. Strikeout for Miller. It's 14-4 Cardinals. Third pitcher for the Cardinals, Seamus Barrett in for Louisville here to start the ninth. Barrett 6'6", 220 pounds. See 11 innings, 16 strikeouts to only 5 walks. I think, again, that's important. You've seen that profile from every Louisville pitcher, how well they've done strikeout to walk ratio. Barrett no different. Opportunity here for him. It's, I love when the 6'6" guys get on a mound.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Jeff. All right.
Anderson is hitting for Jack Anderson.
Yeah, but you see, you talk about the strikeout to walk ratio with these Louisville pitchers, and you're absolutely right. I think that's a reflection, of the great work that they get from their pitching coach Roger Williams. It's something that nearly every pitching coach in the country is going to preach. But to be able to execute on that and have the type of stuff to strike out ACC hitters, that's when those really good pitchers come from and earn the right to pitch on the weekends when you put all that together.
So Jordan Anderson getting an opportunity, the senior transfer.
There's Roger Williams there. The best in the business, that's for sure.
Roger Williams has been doing this for a few years. How about this for Roger Williams? In honor of what's going to happen tonight, Williams pitched at North Carolina.
There you go.
The best game of his career, I'll finish after the pitch, that is lined into right field, or fly ball into right field, and Jordan Anderson is out. So Williams pitching at North Carolina. Duke, Carolina in the Final Four tonight. He struck out 19 Blue Devils in a game.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Like, to do that again, if you're in Carolina and you do that to Duke, there's the highlight. That's an easy one. Like, what's the best game of your career?
Easy.
Oh, let me tell you about this game against Duke.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet there was a few high fives going around maybe from a couple of different sports coaches once they heard about that.
Dom Popa,
that's for sure,
in for the Panthers. Say he's from a baseball family.
Absolutely. His brother was a great player here for a long time.
I think his pops was a player here too.
Absolutely.
Seton LaSalle product getting an opportunity here in the ninth against Seamus Barrett. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. It's like when Barrett throws it, he's just handing it to the catcher.
Right.
When you watch his follow through, he's so long. And that one hits Popa. And, that's kind of a family tradition, too. Getting hit by pitch if your last name is Popa.
Yeah, or not getting out of the way of it, right? Absolutely.
Or having the guts to stand in there and just take it.
Yep. And he's on base. And you mentioned with Seamus Barrett and having that reach and the ability to get out in front and have the ball feel like it's closer to you than it actually is as a hitter, that effective velocity. So let's say he's throwing 90, 92 miles an hour. It feels like it's a little bit harder than that because he's throwing it so much closer to you. So his 90, 92 is going to be different than, let's say, a Matt Gilbertson 90, 92, just because it's being released a little bit further away. So reaction time is important. That's why just in a vacuum, velocity matters, but it only matters as much as just the variables that there are around it.
We mentioned Brandon Anderson, one of the top young shortstops. So is this young man, Tommy Tavares. freshman from Brooklyn. Really excited about his future with the Panthers.
Yeah, very versatile player. I know this coaching staff really excited. Tavares, great teammate. He's had some opportunities when Whaler was out with injury.
And there you go. Takes advantage there with a single to left.
Yeah, great swing, but he's had some opportunities when Jeff Whaler was out with injury. He played some second base and proved himself very capable.
Josh Overbeek in for Hess, another freshman from Cincinnati.
I sound like a broken record, but this is, again, another player the coaching staff has singled out as one they're just excited about over the course of his career. They think he's got a lot of potential. You see there, 6'1", 197, physical player. He's got a lot of potential to be a starter, if not a star, in this league, just by the way he plays the game and his skill set.
And he's created quite a dilemma for his father. Overbeek's dad was a baseball player at Western Michigan, now rooting for the Panthers. Overbeek hit 458 as a senior in high school. Also played basketball in Cincinnati. And if you play baseball in Cincinnati, that's one of those hotbed areas.
Yeah.
And you're hitting 458 high school in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no
That's
doubt.
legit.
There's no doubt the talent's there and the competition's there in that area of high school baseball. That's for sure. So University of Cincinnati's been good. Ohio State's been good. Programs like Louisville will come up to Cincinnati from time to time and really get some really good players. University of Michigan will come over there. Other Big Ten schools.
I think Indiana's had some players from there. And Cincinnati's themselves have had their moments. And a swing and a miss. Overbeek the batter. Popa at third. Tavares at second. 10-run lead for the Cardinals here in the ninth. And check swing. And did not go. Three and one the count, one out here in the ninth. Teams will meet again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. All low and away, and the bases are juiced. Another pinch hitter for the Panthers. Nick Giamarusti. Another freshman. Also from the Midwest, but Chicago. Giamarusti, an outfielder by trade. I made it sound like outfielder by trade, superhero at night. And swing and a miss. 0-2. Good pitch there by Seamus Barrett. He might be.
Hey, your friendly neighborhood Pitt outfielder, right?
That's why they play day games. 0-2 the pitch and fouled back and out of play.
Let's go on our toes, be ready.
Giamarusti. It looks like Johnny Long will be up next. And check swing called, strike 3. Barrett gets his first strikeout.
That fastball right on the outside corner. Yeah, it looks like dotted right there. Certainly a strike, definitely not high.
And now Johnny Long. Every hitter of this inning has been a pinch hitter or a defensive substitution in Long's case in the top of the 9th, so his first at bat. Cameron Bartow is hoping to get in as the pinch hitter for Sky Duff. Ball inside, bases loaded, 10-run lead for the Cardinals, 2 outs in the 9th. On the count. There you see Bardo. It's a famous name in Pittsburgh lore. And ball inside, 2-1.
I think the story is this Louisville offense, though. You know, this is what they did last weekend against Boston College in terms of scoring the amount of runs, 10-plus runs. It's what they did against Notre Dame. It makes it even more impressive what Gilbertson did in Game 1 to limit this offense. I think going into tomorrow, the question is if Billy Corcoran can keep this Louisville offense at bay. And, you know, it doesn't have to be 7 shutout innings. It can be 3 or 4 runs. But if they allow this offense to get to that 8, 9, 10, 11 runs, it's going to be really hard to win.
And a line drive into right field, an RBI hit, and it's going to be a 2 RBI hit for Johnny Long.
And Johnny Long getting an opportunity, taking the fastball, driving it out to right for the 2 RBI single.
That scores Popa and Tavares.
These pinch hitters getting the job done.
Brings up Cameron Bardo. And I think we're going to get a pitching change here in the 9th. We'll tell you about the new pitcher. 2 outs here in the 9th in Pittsburgh. 2 outs in the 9th and a new pitcher for the Cardinals, Evan Webster, the lefty from Union, Kentucky. Won a relief appearance in the ACC tournament against Clemson. 2-0, 2.61 ERA. And we were talking, Matt, about multi-sport athletes and how much that helps. Webster was an all-region bowler.
There we go.
In high school.
That's great.
Cameron Bardo, the pinch hitter for the Panthers. Sophomore from Lancaster. Or if I really want to make everyone back at his hometown up, Lancaster. But no, I know.
Lancaster.
There. That.
Spent some time in Lancaster, PA, with the Lancaster Barnstormers, the Atlantic League.
It's a nice little ballpark they
Great
have there.
program. Hotel was in a nice area. It was we always enjoyed playing in Lancaster, the fans were into the game to an excessive degree, and it made it a lot of fun.
Hey, that does make it fun. I mean, really, if the fans are into it, positive or negative towards you, it gets you going.
That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. There's nothing wrong with it.
2 runs here in the ninth, 14-6, the lead for Louisville. See the Louisville fans. See the Cardinals faithful looking to end this game and split the first 2. And that's inside and gets away from the catcher and advancing a base over Beek and Long. Ron Washington is on deck. I think the bench has been emptied of everyone else. Two-two pitch is grounded foul. Cameron Bardo. 7th new hitter of this inning for the Panthers. Seen a couple of pitchers for Louisville in this inning. Off speed.